Hey, I'm Morgan Kennedy. Welcome to the YouTube channel. I'm super excited to start posting. I want to say... What?
I'm super excited.
Super. Fuck. I'm super excited to start posting as consistently as I can. I don't want to say I'm going to be posting every week just as of yet, but I will do my absolute best. We'll cover topics that I think not many people are aware of on this channel. I don't want to be doing the same shit that you hear all the time about, how much protein to hit per day. That's something that not many people know. But anyway, we don't want to be covering the basics within this YouTube channel. I know there's so much information out there with social media these days. One person telling you to do this, another person telling you to do the complete polar opposite. But I want to cut through the noise. I want to provide as clear and concise information and make it a little bit comedic. I don't want to be too boring. There's a lot of nerds out there that I watch and I love it. I love going into the deep rabbit holes of how the body works, but I know that most people will go to sleep if I do that. So I want to make it as engaging as I possibly can. I am super excited to get stuck in. First thing that I want to talk about is the asymmetry that we have within our body. If you were to cut me in half, yes, we got two arms, we got two legs, we got one head. But if you were to look at the internal orientation of our organs, it's completely different. We got a liver on our right side, we've got a heart on our left side. What this causes is a heavier right side. And this is every single person on the planet. Even if you're left-handed or left-footed, you're still going to be heavier on the right side. Yes, people are going to compensate on the left or the right, but these layers of compensation change over the course of time. This is a huge factor that people don't take into consideration when we're trying to get them better performance, so optimizing the way that they can play their sport or improve in the gym, or getting them out of that injury or pain that they keep suffering from. Next thing that I want to talk about is the diaphragm. A lot of people don't take into consideration how important our diaphragm is. This is the primary muscle for respiration within our body. As you can see right now, we have a flat position of the diaphragm when we inhale, and we have a dome position as we exhale. Yes, it's a primary muscle of respiration, but it's going to affect the way that someone moves, and that can be reflected within someone's posture. An example would be if I go side on, when I inhale, my rib cage wants to flare. When I exhale, my rib cage should tuck. But a lot of people can't execute the exhale correctly. So they stay in this flared position of the rib cage, and as well as that, their pelvis is staying dumped forward. Our pelvis, not many people are aware of, it actually has the movement to be able to go forward and backwards. It shouldn't just stay forward. You see a lot of, not to be sexist at all, but you see a lot of girls in this position trying to stick their butt out, maybe, yeah, get that angle, But we don't want to be in that position. I know that you may think that some guys like that with their posture, but trust me, in my eyes, all I see is an anterior tilt with the pelvis, a rib cage flare, and it's not nice. We don't want that. We don't want that. All it's going to cause is lower back pain, and I can almost guarantee you when someone is in this position, 90% or 99% of them are going to be suffering from lower back discomfort, because this lumbar section of the spine is always compressed. All of these things are correlated towards our posture, but what dictates that posture is the way that we breathe. So that's another thing that we're going to go further down the rabbit hole. But let's not put you to sleep just yet. Another thing that I really want to talk about is nutrition. Why a lot of people feel the way that they feel, because there's things that they're just not addressing within their metabolism and their overall gut health. But now I'm just kind of freestyling. I probably need to pause the video, reflect on what else I need to say within this first video, but
No, we're live.
we're live? Fuck. Nah, I'm gonna be posting a bit of workout stuff as well. I'm in the process of hopefully getting a little bit lean. I've just got back from the States. We definitely indulged a little bit over there, so it'll be good to crack in and get into a nice routine again, and hopefully I'll share as much as I can with that. Also, if you want to see a little bit more content that's exclusive to people that want to be a part of a community, I do have a school course which is free. All you need to do is just get the app, School, SKOOL, and we can get into more stuff that's really going to be able to benefit people that are trying to optimize their performance, and as well as that, mitigate the chance of injury. I'm just here to help the community as best as I can.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free. Bilateral movements. Bench press. I'm not wearing undies right now, bro. I don't want to show that off. Even though there's a time and place for bilateral movements, we want to take it into consideration that we don't want to abuse them. The reason as to why is, as we were talking about with the asymmetry within our body, if we start to do way too much of this or way too much of bilateral, so bilateral using two arms or two legs or just both sides at the same time, yes, it's going to pack on a ton of mass, so you're going to be big, but you're sacrificing different things, such as the ability to be able to use both sides equally, because we are heavier on the right. What happens is, as an example, I could be hitting a bench press, and I could imagine that I'm using 50% with my left, 50% with my right. But if I have more development on one side, or I have a better neural connection with, let's say, my right pec, when I start to fatigue, instead of it being 50-50, it may start to skew to 55-45, and then it may skew to 60-40. And then that's when you see these differences in development within the chest, within the legs, within the arms, within everywhere. When I throw a ball with my left arm as opposed to my right arm, I'm an absolute spastic. I was going to say junkie with the left hand, but I'm not going to say junkie. I'm a junkie with the left hand. But with the left hand, because I have less of a neural awareness of my left side, when I start to fatigue, I'm not going to be able to use the muscles as well as the right. So we need to take that into consideration when we're doing any sort of sport, weightlifting, just resistance training in general. We are going to start to use the muscle that we have developed more. If someone has a pelvis that's stuck forward permanently, this is going to always result in our quads to be more shortened and our hamstrings to be more lengthened. What that means is when I'm doing, for instance, a sprint, instead of my hamstrings and my quads working in this unified way as teammates, I'm using a lot more quads. And then that is going to result into a much higher chance of ACL injuries. That's why they're so common in this day and age, because the ACLs are in way too much of a vulnerable position because they don't have enough work getting done within the hamstrings and the adductors and the gluteus complex, but that's just a very simplified example. I want to try and make this as clear and concise as I said earlier. So if we don't have the ability to change the orientation of our skeletal system and strengthen the muscles that allow that pelvis to be able to go back, we're going to give ourselves a much higher chance of injuring. If we talk about another thing that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration is how long it actually takes to be able to make these changes. If you do a rehab program for 4 weeks, you can't expect your body to change within that short period of time. It takes consistent stimulus. It doesn't even take 12 weeks. It doesn't even take a year. It's a matter of consistently integrating these things within your program. Otherwise, your body's just going to resort back to using the muscle that's been more neurally developed. Think about, I'm 24. If I do a rehab program for 4 weeks, I'm still going to have a much more developed neural awareness on my right side as opposed to my left side. It's not something that we can just do for a couple of weeks and then it's fixed. It's a matter of being able to change the approach and the structure of the way that we train, so we're always improving the way that we can get a better neural awareness of our left and right side, but also making sure that we're continuously developing the muscles that allow our skeletal system to change where it reflects I'm correctly on my right leg and I'm correctly on my left leg. Instead of thinking about the skeletal orientation reflecting me being on my left leg or me being on my right leg, another way to think about it is your center of mass. When I'm on my right leg, my center of mass is going to be here. When I'm on my left leg, my center of mass should be on my left. But the problem is, when I walk, so I'll walk a little bit further backwards, when I walk on my right, my center of mass is here. Instead of it swapping onto my left leg, it stays on my right. Here's a photo of me as a 13-year-old that can show you how my center of mass is stuck on the right side. And that can be reflected through my posture. See how, if I'm just copying myself as a 13-year-old, oh, someone's at the door. Hold on, bro. Just quick intermission. Oh, we've just lost a customer. Hold on.
Get him back.
Get him back. Hey! Hey, mate. Were you looking to check the gym out?
No, she loves the gorilla.
Oh, okay, cool.